All right, so we've got this this mountain of articles and notes all about how to level up in product management.
Yeah, it looks like you're really trying to figure out
Yeah.
how to use all this stuff. Actually apply it in a job.
Exactly. I want to get beyond just the theory.
Yeah. And it seems like you're really interested in Agile.
The Agile stuff, yeah, that keeps popping up.
And what's interesting is there's this focus on people skills. Communication and collaboration and even empathy.
Really?
Yeah, it's not just about the technical stuff. It's also about leadership and really understanding human needs.
So you're saying those people skills are just as important as the tech side of things?
It seems that way from all this material, yeah.
That's not something I would have expected.
Yeah, it's kind of a hidden secret.
So where do we even begin with all this?
Wow.
Is there like a roadmap for leveling up those product management skills?
Actually, yeah, your sources lay out a pretty clear path. It starts with building a solid foundation, the basics.
Like what kinds of things?
Like the product lifecycle, user-centered design, and all that Agile stuff we're talking about.
Makes sense. That's the groundwork for everything else.
Exactly.
It's like building a house. You got to have a solid foundation before you even think about paint colors.
Exactly. You can't build on a shaky foundation.
Right. But after the foundation, what's next?
Hands-on experience, you got to actually work on projects.
Yeah. Reading about it only gets you so far.
Right. And this is where mentorship can be huge.
Oh, yeah. Finding someone who's been there, done that.
Someone who can guide you and share their war stories.
Because they've probably made all the mistakes already.
And learn from them, hopefully.
Yeah. Now, something else that caught my eye was specialization within product management.
Oh, yeah.
Is that really a thing?
Oh, yeah. It's becoming more and more important.
So it's not just about being a generalist product manager.
It's about finding your niche.
Okay, so as you get more experience.
You'll probably find areas you really like. It could be growth marketing or data analytics or even a specific industry like fintech.
So you become the go-to person for that thing.
Exactly.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But even after you specialize, it seems like the learning never really stops.
Oh, absolutely. Continuous learning is essential.
Especially in tech, things change so fast.
Exactly. You need to stay ahead of the curve.
How do you even do that?
Well, there are certifications like the one from Product School.
Okay. I've heard of that.
It's a structured way to learn and prove what you know.
But it's more than just certifications.
No, yeah, you got to stay curious, read industry stuff, go to webinars.
So it's like subscribing to the Insider Tips channel for product management.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that analogy, but what about the actual advanced skills?
Like, what do you need to master to really level up?
Yeah.
Well, two big things come up over and over in this material.
Okay.
Agile mastery and communication.
And those two things are related.
They're definitely connected.
Yeah.
As Agile becomes more common across different industries.
Not just software anymore.
Right, being able to communicate well within that Agile framework.
That sounds like a whole other deep dive.
It is. We could definitely spend some time on that.
Let's put a pin in that for now, but back to Agile mastery.
Yeah.
What does that even mean?
Well, Agile is more than just a project management method.
It's a whole philosophy.
Yeah, it emphasizes flexibility, collaboration, customer focus.
And it's based on something called the Agile Manifesto.
Exactly. It lays out the core values.
And those are?
Like individuals and interactions over processes and tools.
So it's not just about the tools.
It's about the people, human connection, collaboration.
I like that, especially in a world that's so tech-focused.
Right.
Yep.
And that leads to the next value.
Which is?
Working software over comprehensive documentation.
So less talk, more action.
Exactly. It's about getting things done, creating something usable.
And then what?
Getting feedback and iterating based on that feedback.
So you build something, test it out, and then make it better.
Exactly. And the third value is customer collaboration over contract negotiation.
So you're working with the customer throughout the process.
Exactly. You're getting their input, making sure you're building something they actually want.
That makes so much sense, especially in a world where customer needs are always changing.
Right. And the last value is responding to change over following a plan.
That sounds like a recipe for chaos.
Yeah. It's not about throwing out the plan completely.
Okay, so you still need some structure.
But you have to be flexible, be willing to adapt as things change.
That's tough for someone like me who likes to plan everything out.
I hear you. But that adaptability is crucial in today's world.
Okay, I'm starting to see the value in that.
Yeah.
So how do you actually put those Agile values into practice?
Well, there are different frameworks.
Frameworks?
Yeah, there are like different ways of implementing Agile.
Give me some examples.
There's Scrum, Kanban, Lean.
Okay, I've heard of those, but I don't really know what they mean.
Each one has its own set of practices and terminology.
So it's like choosing the right tool for the job.
Exactly. You pick the framework that best fits your project and your team.
But before we get lost in the frameworks, I want to bring it back to our listener for a second.
Okay.
Because I keep seeing these hints that Agile can be used for more than just software development.
Oh, absolutely.
And that really intrigues me. Can you give me an example?
Sure. How about planning a marketing campaign?
Okay, how would Agile apply to that?
Think of your marketing campaign as your product.
Okay.
You could use an Agile roadmap to outline the major milestones, but be flexible enough to adjust based on the data you're seeing.
So you're not locked into a rigid plan.
Right. And you could release the campaign in stages.
Okay.
Get feedback along the way, and then make changes based on that feedback.
It's like a constant feedback loop.
Exactly. And those daily stand-up meetings that are so common in Agile,
Yeah.
well, those could become quick check-ins with your marketing team to see how things are going.
That makes sense. So it's about breaking down the campaign into smaller chunks, getting feedback, and then iterating as you go.
Exactly. It's a much more dynamic and responsive approach.
I like that. So Agile really can be applied to all sorts of things.
Oh, yeah. It's a powerful mindset.
But let's get even more practical. Your source has outlined an 8-step process for actually putting Agile into action.
Yeah.
Can you walk me through those steps?
Absolutely. But to make it more relatable, let's stick with that road trip analogy you mentioned earlier.
Okay, I'm game. Road trip meets Agile. Let's do it.
All right. So step 1 is defining your product vision.
Okay, in our road trip, that's like deciding where we want to go.
Exactly. What's our destination? What kind of experience are we looking for?
What are the must-sees and must-dos?
You got it. Step 2 is creating an Agile roadmap.
So that's like our itinerary.
Yeah. But it's not about planning every single detail.
So it's more like a general outline.
Exactly. We can always make adjustments along the way.
What do we find a cool little town we want to explore?
Exactly. Step 3 is feature prioritization.
What does that mean?
Think about it like packing the car.
Okay.
Some things are essential, like our luggage and snacks. Other things are nice to have, but we can live without them if we need to.
So it's about deciding what's truly important for the trip.
Exactly. Step 4 is iterative development.
So this is where we actually hit the road.
Exactly. But instead of driving straight to our destination,
Yeah.
we break the trip into shorter segments.
Okay, so we stop every few days
To check our progress, make sure we're still on track.
and adjust our route if we need to.
You got it? Step 5 is user feedback.
User feedback. How does that apply to a road trip?
It's like asking locals for recommendations.
Oh, okay.
Maybe they know a great little restaurant that's not in the guidebooks.
Or a scenic route we should take.
Exactly. It's about getting input from people who know the area better than we do.
That's a smart move. I always ask locals for recommendations when I travel.
It can really enhance your experience.
So we're getting insights from those who've already explored the path we're on.
Exactly. And that can help us avoid pitfalls and discover hidden gems.
This is fascinating, but we've covered a lot of ground. And I'm sure our listeners are ready for a break.
Maybe grab a snack.
Yeah, we'll pick up right here in part 2 of our deep dive.
Good.
We'll explore the remaining Agile steps and see how all this applies to real-world product management challenges.
I'm looking forward to it.
Stay tuned. All right, so last time we were talking about using Agile to plan a cross-country road trip.
Yeah, it was a fun way to visualize those Agile steps.
Yeah, and it really helped me see how those principles can be used outside of software.
Exactly. But let's not forget our listener is trying to level up their product management skills.
Right, so how do these road trip analogies actually translate into real-world advice for a product manager?
That's a great question. And I think step 5, user feedback, is a perfect example.
Okay, yeah, we talked about asking locals for recommendations on our road trip.
Right.
But what would that look like for a product manager?
Well, it's about actively seeking out user feedback throughout the entire product development process.
Not just at the end.
Exactly. You want to be getting feedback early and often.
So it's not just about sending out a survey or looking at website data.
It's about really understanding your users.
Like, what are their pain points? What are they trying to achieve?
Right. And you can do that through user interviews, user testing, analyzing user data.
So you're getting into the minds of your users.
Exactly. And using those insights to make better product decisions.
It's like getting those local recommendations before you even start your road trip.
Exactly.
So you don't end up at a tourist trap when you could be having an amazing meal at a hidden gem.
Exactly. All right, let's move on to the next step in our Agile road trip.
Okay, what's step 6?
Continuous improvement.
Continuous improvement. So it's about always looking for ways to make things better.
Exactly. There's no such thing as perfect in Agile.
So you're constantly evaluating your process, looking for areas to optimize.
Exactly.
In our road trip analogy, that could be like realizing we packed too much stuff,
Right. Or maybe we discover a better navigation app.
or we find a more scenic route.
It's about being adaptable and willing to make changes along the way.
Okay, I like that.
Huh?
What's step 7?
Measure success.
Measure success. So you're tracking your progress to see if you're actually meeting your goals.
Exactly. You're not just relying on gut feelings.
So in our road trip, that could be like checking our mileage and gas expenses.
Yeah. Are we on track to reach our destination on time and within budget?
And are we actually enjoying the journey?
Exactly. It's about making sure the